All right. Hello, everyone. We are here for the April 8th solar eclipse. Um, it should be, I'm hoping it's going to be good. Uh, you know, the weather uh, is not cooperating because it here in Arizona it is always sunny almost every day, and of course because it is the eclipse, the weather shows that we are going to be cloudy during the eclipse. But um, and we have our Skywatcher Solar Quest mount. Um, if it's not sunny, it doesn't really work very well. If you have clouds, the camera kind of loses the sun, and then it loses where it's at. So I have it out right now. I turned it on a few minutes ago, and I'm hoping um, that it will try to point where it's supposed to go. In the meantime, I have a backup plan. It's not quite as good as our Lunt 50 is, but we do have our new Celestron C6R, and we have a solar filter on the front of it. So that's what you're looking at right now. Um, it's just a little out of focus. It comes in and out of focus a little bit with the clouds, but it is a little out of focus because the temperature is warming up and it is changing the telescope. So it may be something we have to do a little bit too, but it's definitely not as good as the line. But it's going to do its job, and it's going to track great, and we're going to try and switch between the two as the solar eclipse happens, and we'll see. I'm going to go out here now. I'm going to leave the sun on here so you can see, and I'm going to go out here and check our solar quest out and see if it started to actually move yet. I don't know if it has. It's out in front of the observatory. We're going to check it out. Let's see here. I'm going to show you. There we are. We still have Clyde covered up with the cover, but there's our C6R, and we're going to name that one Lucy, I think. So she is pointed at the sun right now, and as you can see through the observatory, it's pretty cloudy. But I think it's going to be okay. We can manipulate our camera enough that we're going to be able to get the eclipse, unless it is just totally cloudy. We're going to still have a great time here. It's going to be good. So, okay. I am going to leave this run, and you can see that, and you can see Clyde in the right-hand side of your screen. And I'm going to go out here and mess with this the solar cam, and then I'll be back on. We're going to leave the stream running, and I'll be back to talk to you here in just a little bit. Remember, the eclipse is going to start right around 10 o'clock, 10:08, I think they say. I'm pretty sure. Let's see here. We've got this nice little timeanddate.com is a great little astronomy tool. Let's see here. Okay, begins Monday, April 8th, 2024 at 10:08 a.m. So we have just under an hour before that starts. So let's see here. There we go. All right. So we'll leave this here, and then I'll be back in just a few minutes. All right. I th- we're here. We're on. We're ready. Uh, let's see. It's a little echoing here today. Um, yeah, let's see. It's going to be good. Um, we got a little break in the clouds right now. I'm hoping that we're going to get to see a lot of this eclipse. I refocused a little bit of the scopes. Now the lunt finally did come on. The sun's out enough that it's finally moving. It was just not cooperating. Let's. I'm going to show you right now. There's the lunt. I've got it overexposed right now so we can see the flares. Let's see here. All right. It's definitely not. The tracking is not doing as good as it should. Um, uh, you can see the clouds sort of go over the sun, and then unfortunately the lunt has a little bit of, or the solar quest has a little bit of a hard time when the clouds go across the sun like that. It gets it a little confused because the solar quest is an automatic tracking mount. You don't have to do anything. Basically all you have to do is turn it on and put your scope on it, and it does the rest. It does it by GPS and a camera, so there's no remote control or anything like that like we have with our big scope. You can see right here, there's our C6R pointed at the sky. You can see all the clouds in there. You can see them rolling by. There's Clyde, but he's pointed that way, but he's asleep right now. We put the scope to sleep, and he's just going to sit there and not do anything. Now you can see, here's the lunt, and you can see those clouds going across there, and as it does, it will start to lose tracking, unfortunately, but that's okay. We have our C6R and our Malincam DSC16 TEC on it, and we'll be able to manipulate hopefully both of them to be able to view this. We're going to see what happens. We're not going to rely on the lunt too much because of the unfortunately because of the clouds. We have a solar filter in our C6R, and it's not as good as the lunt. The lunt is a pressure tuned solar only scope, so you get to see the prominences of the sun, and you get to see, as you adjust the pressure in it, you can see surface details, which is absolutely amazing. You can't really do that with a solar filter, but we can see the sunspots, and we can manipulate the exposure on the camera, and it should be okay, and it's going to give us a great eclipse. It's sunny all the time here in Arizona, every day, except today, of course. But we gotta do what we can to get this eclipse in and in the books. I think, I'm not sure here. We have some other stuff here we can read about, but the eclipse, there's not going to be another one for quite a while, I don't think. So let's see here. Let's see what our lunt's doing. Let's see here, and we will. Oh, see, it moves all on its own. Let's see if we can't kill some of this exposure. So we can see it like this. There's not a whole lot of prominences this way. And unfortunately, the clouds make it hard to see the detail. It's just the way it is today, unfortunately. But nonetheless, it is awesome and I like it. So it's very cool. Let's see here. We can do our gain a little bit there. If you do our gain, you can see a little bit. Exposure is usually where we're getting our prominences from. You can overexpose this, and then you can see these prominences come off the sun. They're a little hidden today because of the clouds. So we're going to put her right there. We have our lunt, and then our C6R, and we can up our exposure time a little bit on this. There we go. Those clouds going across there are wild, for sure. I don't think there's going to be another eclipse for quite a while. Not a total eclipse. The significance of today is the eclipse is going to have a totality, and it's going to run through North America. There is going to be other eclipses. I have to look up the dates, but they are in totality, but they don't run across the United States. The reason this one is so publicized is because it is running through North America, and there's so many cities going to be able to see it. I'm hoping that they're all going to have good weather. I know there is a lot of our friends from the mountain campsite. I know Jack Haircomp is he is in Texas. He drove over there. I think he had hip surgery not that long ago, and he was trying to get better so he could get over there to see the eclipse. I know that he is set up, and I know that Rock Mallon, who builds all our wonderful cameras here at Starlight Starbright Observatory, we use strictly Mallon cams here, and they are wonderful. And he is going to be broadcasting the eclipse today at his time in Canada. And he is going to be doing that via liveskies.org. Liveskies.org. You can go in there, and then you'll see Rock's channel is live, and you can click on that, and then you can watch that through there, and you can do it right through your web browser. Oh my goodness. It's starting. There it is. Yep, 10:08 on the dot. NASA does not disappoint with their information, and we are gonna, this is exciting, we are gonna have about, I'm hoping about almost 70% here in Arizona, right around 65 or 60 to 70, but I'm hoping it's closer to 70. Very cool. It doesn't take too long to get to here. I think I'm not sure how long. Let's see what our lunt looks like. Oh, there it is. Now the camera is different on where it is situated. You can see it come right through the top. Right through the top, and on our other one, it is coming through the side. Let's see here. The maximum eclipse today for Phoenix is going to be at 11:20, and then it ends at 12:35 p.m. The whole duration of this is 2 hours and 27 minutes. So I'm going to try and be entertaining for 2 hours, and at least 2 hours. You might have a few minutes there of me not being entertaining. So it's very, very interesting. If you go to timeanddate.com, you can go to /eclipse, and you can pick your city out of there, and you can see what's happening right now. please do not look at the eclipse without those glasses. Don't use sunglasses. And if you're an amateur astronomer, don't point, or if you just went out and got a telescope, do not point this at the sun, cloudy or not. It will burn your eyeballs out like Superman does. Don't do it. It's bad. So make sure you have the proper solar filter, proper solar scope, or the special glasses you can get at the Piggly Wiggly or the Circle K. I think they're free with every purchase. So go in there and get a soda and get your glasses. That's the best thing to do. Let's see here. That's looking pretty good. Let's go over to our C6R, because the clouds are kind of going through there. We just kind of have to play with the exposure a little bit. Oh my gosh, it's moving. That is absolutely unbelievable. This is super cool. Let's see here. We can do our gain a little bit here. There we go. We're just going to have to play with our gain a little bit to make sure that as the clouds go across the sky, we are getting most of it. And the great thing about this, using a camera for this, like you can see that the clouds are going over this. If I overexpose that camera, we're going to see it anyway. It's going to be cool. As long as it's not totally black out, we're good to go. Alright, as you can see, I'll show you right here. We'll show you the camera outside in the observatory. You can see all those clouds we're shooting through. Right there is Lucy, our C6R, our refractor. Clyde is asleep right there, but our refractor is doing wonderful, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. Oh my goodness. Oh, we're shooting through, the clouds are moving. Let's get back down here a little bit in our gain. Some amazing sunspots right here. They're very cool, and you can see some weird texturing even on the solar filter. You can see some weird texturing in the sun. Too bad the LUNT isn't working because of the sun, but or because of the clouds. So you won't be able to get to see any of that surface detail today, unfortunately. Let's see here. Let's see if our mount is even keeping up. Oh, and it is. There it is. It's actually tracking pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that. See here. Let's see if we can kind of kill a little bit of the exposure here. All right, we're looking good. And there you can see, that is quite a different view than the C6R. And you can see, there it is. There's the moon. It's doing its job. And this LUNT is amazing. Look at the flares coming off of the sun. You can see them right there. That is absolutely amazing. If we had a scale, the Earth would probably be a little teeny dot in this solar flare right here. That's how big the sun is. We can't even comprehend how big it is. All right, look at those amazing features here over on the right of the sun. Very cool. Very interesting. Well, I'm glad we're able to do this, and we have two scopes on it, and they seem to be working quite well. Because I did play hooky from work today. I know that some of those guys at work are watching, and it is, I feel bad that they're at work. No, I don't. But you know what? We might not be around again here at Starbright Observatory. We're getting up there, and I want to make sure that we can get this. Wow, look at that moon take a bite out of that sun. That is absolutely amazing. All right. Still, if you're looking and you can see in the screen in the bottom right hand side there, you can see Clyde and Lucy out there, and you can see that blue sky out there, but it is definitely got a bunch of clouds going across it. Let's kill a little bit of this gain on. Let's see here. All right. So you can see a much cleaner, you can see some much cleaner edge detections on our solar filter on Lucy on our C6R. That is super cool. That is amazing. Hey Chuck, my son's at work. He went without me today. Yeah, it's still bright out right now. We're going to get to about 60 to 70% coverage here. I don't know if it's bright, and my son works. We work at Chandler at the John Deere dealership, and it's not bright and sunny here. You know what? We can drive an hour to work, and the weather is totally different. That's the amazing thing about Arizona. We have all these little pockets. Sometimes it actually rains down the street and not over where your house is. And here in the valley, it's super hot all the time and super sunny. But you can actually see there's like a giant mountain chain that almost runs like in a circular ring around this valley, and it always kind of holds the weather off. But this has probably been, since we've been starting to do astronomy, this is probably the worst year we've had as far as clouds and cloudy nights. Usually you can almost go out and pick your night and just go observe the stars. Some nights are a little bit better than others, but it's been particularly cloudy here almost every night. We usually get that way during the monsoon season, but the monsoon season here was actually dry, and it's actually been super rainy and wet here during the winter time. Wow, look at that. Look at the moon. Just sort of blot that out. This is a super cool. You know, for a lot of people, this is like a once in a lifetime event. I know for us, we haven't been doing astronomy that long, so this is a super event for us. I remember how we got into this was through I had bought my wife. I think it was in. I'm gonna say it was in the mid 90s, I think, because my son was just little, and I went to the science store and I bought her it was actually a Celestron. It was I think it was like a little 3-inch. It was a 3-inch reflector on like this little mount. You know, it wasn't motorized or anything, but it was a little equatorial mount. And I bought her this star finder. It was this big plastic box with giant D batteries in it, and it had like a cellophane thing that ran around it. And I don't know how she figured that out, and I don't know if it was by chance, but we lived in New Jersey, and we lived out in the middle of nowhere near the nuclear plant. That's probably what's wrong with us. But we lived near there, and it was super blackout, and she found Saturn. I don't know how she did it. It was tiny in that scope, but you could see the rings. And obviously with life and kids and all, you don't get to do what you want, but now we do. So now we're in our second observatory at a new location. Boy, that is really going across the sky really good. That is amazing. On our Orion Atlas mount is just performing phenomenally. And you know, we got all this stuff, and we got this from Stellar Vision Astronomy in Tucson. Our wonderful friend Frank there, he has helped us with all this, and he can help you too if you're wanting to get into a telescope or into astronomy. He has got so many scopes, and they're pre-owned scopes. It absolutely boggles your mind when you walk in there. It's like it's like a kid in a candy store. There's so many. It's very cool. If you're ever down in Tucson, uh, yeah, James, it that does look like Pac-Man, doesn't it? It's very cool. Oh, hi, Amy. Uh, yeah, there's people joining in now. Tons of people here. Um, Amy Bowers is she's a local here in Florence, and she actually was our telescope giveaway winner. So I know her and her husband, they have been they're into it, which is very cool. But she's at work. She's not. She has to watch the stream today. All right. Well, I'm off work too. We'll have to eat ramen noodles next paycheck, but that's okay. We like ramen noodles here. Let's see here. Let's see. Let's see how our. Let's see how the Lunt is doing. Oh, amazing. Amazing. Very cool. And that's 200% zoomed in. And this is with our Mallincam DS287. It is a smaller camera. You can use it for a guide camera. We actually have one. It is a guide camera, and actually in Lucy right there, in our Orion 60mm guide scope, we used a 287 mono in that for a guide camera. And we have the 287. The color is in our Lunt 50. Wow, this is amazing. Let's go ahead, let's overexpose a little bit. Let's see if we can get some good prominences out of this sun. Oh my, look at that. Look at those flares come off the sun. That is crazy. There's not a whole lot around there. We've been out here several days, and some of these really they protrude like inches off of the sun. I don't know if that's when the solar flare or when the zombie apocalypse is coming, but wow, look at that. Wow, and we're 400% zoomed in right there. That looks amazing. All right, let me see if I just knock just a hair of exposure out of that. Try and get that orange shiny look off of it. There we go. What? The mount is doing phenomenal. I'm so happy that it's sort of tracking. But right now we are pretty good with the clouds. There's cloud cover over us, as you can see, but we're in like a little break right now. And don't forget, all of our amazing space-themed background music you're hearing right now, it is from Eric Medias at soundimage.org. He has an amazing array of songs and sounds and sound effects. And he lets us use all his amazing space-themed music for free. I think he's an astronomy lover. He might be. I don't know. But he lets us use his music. So we are super pumped about that. And it really adds to our broadcasts. Oh, it is a little windy out. I can hear, you probably can't hear. I don't know if you can. I have headphones on, but I can hear. We have our beautiful co-hosts. I have these wind chimes out here with a chicken on them or something. We have those hanging out here, and I can kind of tell when it's getting windy. I just checked our. We have an AccuRite weather station out here, and it is 67 degrees right now, and the wind just gusted up to about 8 miles an hour. That's why you saw Lucy kind of, or the Lunt kind of move a little bit there. It's amazing how little bit of movement it takes to shake the scopes. It's unbelievable. Even as big as Clyde is, um, just actually touching one of the cords or something on it when you're walking by is enough to actually move it. Or anytime you get it, anytime over a 5 to 6 mile an hour wind, it shakes the scope. You know, it kind of bursts into the observatory here. Wow, this is looking, I can't believe how much of the sun has already gone. Now I can show you here. Let's see here. I actually go. All right, let me find this for you. All right. All right, let's see here. Let's go over to here. All right. So this is where we are at right now. This is Casa Grande here. And then this is where we are right here in Florence, roundabout. So don't get me wrong, that arrow is not to scale or exact, but that's pretty much where the Starlight Starbright Observatory is, right there. We're halfway between Phoenix and Tucson. And then over here, this is the NASA Eclipse map. So we're right over here, right there, and as you can see right here, that is the 70% line right there, and we were almost down there. So we're going to hopefully be almost 70%. This is the path of the totality of the eclipse. So all through there, just as oh, thank you for the like, Carolyn. So as the sun goes through here, this is an exact path of where it's going to be dark, absolutely. And you're going to be able to see that corona around the sun. It'll be like an umbral disk, but where we're at, it's a perumbral because we don't have a full eclipse yet. All right, it is still moving. Absolutely unbelievable. Very cool. And we'll go over here and check our lunt. Oh, still tracking very well. That looks amazing. Let's see here. Let's give her a little. If you're just joining in, you can overexpose. Now, if we were doing sections of this, maybe change the camera, we could really get some of these prominence to show. But look at those solar prominences on here. That is absolutely amazing. And just don't forget, the Earth is tiny. It's literally like not even the size of the solar flare. It's absolutely crazy to watch. Right. So hopefully our lunt here is going to do well with tracking. There's been several, I've been reading several forums. They're wondering what's going to happen to the Skywatcher Solar Quest mount when we have, through totality of the eclipse, if it will still track. Some people say yes, some people are worried about it. We're not worried about it here because we have our Lucy on our Orion Atlas mount right now, and it will do all the tracking for us. It's going to be very cool. So we could have put the lunt on the Atlas mount, but the problem is we wouldn't have anything for the other mount, because the Skywatcher doesn't really hold a big telescope. I think it only holds I think it holds up to 11 pounds, which is still pretty good. But but I think you know, our Atlas holds up to like 30 pounds or something like that, and then of course Clyde, I think that holds up to about 60 or 65 pounds. It's still moving. It is very cool. It is absolutely amazing. You know, the mount is tracking very well, um, even through the clouds and um, through the eclipse. It's very cool. Uh, if you're into solar watching and you have a telescope with a solar filter, or if you have a solar only scope, you can grab that little Skywatcher mount. Um, they're not that expensive as far as mount goes. They're not that expensive, um, and basically you just turn it on, and then you're able to view the sun. It does everything all by itself, and you cannot hook it to a computer or anything like that. It's kind of like a one-trick pony. It just does the sun, and it does it. It seems to do it pretty well. We've only used it a few times here, um, and each time has been a success. So I like that. Wow. I'm going to show you this one here. Look at that. That is absolutely crazy looking. The line is super defined on that. That is very cool. Oh, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it. My wonderful next door neighbor. We live all pretty far apart here with acres in between, but he is my neighbor and the only one I like, and he's kind of my only neighbor, but that's okay. He's helped me do quite a few things here. A good guy. Wow, this is looking amazing. Hi, Cassandra. I can tell you right now, Cassandra wants to know how long this is going to last. Um, it started at 10:08 a.m. Mountain Standard Time here, and it is our maximum coverage is going to be at around 11:20. So we have quite a bit of time between now and maximum coverage, and then it will be ending. It will be all over at 12:35 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. The whole duration is 2 hours and 27 minutes. Um, and it's amazing how they have this timed right exactly at 10:08. You could see the moon start to chomp away at the sun. It was absolutely unbelievable. Those guys at NASA, I don't know how they're so smart, but they're definitely smarter than we are. Yes, it is very amazing. So, and we won't have one of these across the United States like this in well, not in my time. I think the last one was in 1970. I can't remember. I read it. I believe it was in the 70s we had one come across the United States. It's been quite a while. And obviously in the 70s, I was more worried about riding bicycles and buying toys at Kmart than I was astronomy. Oh, thanks, Brooke. I appreciate it. Oh, I'm glad you could tune in. Oh, hey, Burger. Yeah, it looks really amazing. And what you're seeing right now is through our Lunt 50. It is a solar only scope. You can't do anything else with it except look at the sun. But it is a pressure tuned scope. So you can go out there and turn the pressure pots on it, and you will be able to see different details in the sun. Um, we're not going to mess with it too much today because we're not going to do the try and do the surface of the sun. Excuse me. We just want to make sure that we have an amazing eclipse event because I don't want to have to run out there and and mess with the focuses or anything. I tell you what, this allergy season is bad for me this year. I usually don't get them, but this year I've been sneezing, and my throat's been constantly having been coughing. All right, let's go over here and see. Oh, there's our timeanddate.com. If you go there, you can get some of your eclipse information. Uh, when is the next solar eclipse, the different types. We can answer all these questions because the internet is much smarter than we are. And we are. It's still pretty cloudy. And you can see here, if we look over at Clyde and Lucy, you can see that it's actually pointing further up as that follows the sky there. We should have enough time before we have to do, I'm hoping we don't have to do a meridian flip. I think we got plenty of room left in our swing of our telescope before we would have to go back around and reacquire, because the mount will stop at a certain point so that the scope does not crash into the pier, and we don't want that to happen because everything is very costly to fix. And as you see right there in your bottom right hand corner, Lucy was pointed at that big cloud that's going over us right now. You can see it kind of diminish, but we can, through the magic. Oh, thanks for the stars, Cassandra. We can fix this. I know you can't see the sun, but with the amazing magic of cameras, we can just turn the exposure up and we're not going to miss any of it. We're going to get the sun through the clouds whether they're there or not, which is very amazing. Make sure if you're just tuning in, if you go outside, do not, even if it's cloudy, I can't stress enough, do not look at the sun like this. It will burn your eyes out. I don't know if it'll really burn your eyes out, but it will hurt your eyes. And do not point any type of camera or telescope equipment at the sun unless you have a solar filter or a solar only scope that has the correct blocking filters in it. We want everybody to keep their eyesight. You know what is amazing? We have a blue sky out today. Well, semi-blue with the clouds. But does anybody notice anything interesting about our eclipse picture? This happens in the daytime when you look at the moon too. Cassandra, no, don't use sunglasses. You can't use sunglasses to look at the sun, even though it's cloudy. I do not advise it. If you have a C-Mart or a gas station next to you, all of them should have a stack of glasses. I know that all are, they're not C-Marts, they're Circle K's. All of them here that I've been to have a box of glasses, Eclipse glasses, and they're free with any purchase. Go get a fountain drink and get a pair of special glasses to make sure you're looking at it through the proper glasses. I'm not going to tell you can use a welding helmet, but if you're a welder, yes, you can use a welding helmet. But don't take my word for it. Don't come back and say that you burned your eyeballs out looking at the sun through a welding helmet. I've done it many a times. But please use the proper equipment. Only glasses, only Eclipse glasses, or a solar scope, or a telescope with a solar filter. You have to have some type of solar filter. Or if you have a box with a pinhole in it, you can hold it up and look at it that way. That's the way a lot of people do that. There's plenty of tutorials on how to do that. So yes, Cassandra, no sunglasses. You only wear them if you want to look cool. Wow, this is moving. It's moving pretty quickly. You know, I think a couple years ago when we were in the other location, we did a lunar eclipse. And it was super early in the morning, and we got to do the whole lunar eclipse. And I know that we broadcasted, and we have some friends in New Jersey, and she's a school teacher, and she broadcasted that to her school, which was very cool. we're still doing very good here. Look at these amazing sunspots right here. They are spots on the sun, and these darker areas, it's very cool. Let's see how our lunch's doing. Let's see how our Skywatcher. Oh, that looks amazing. That is so cool. Boy, the features really pop out, and just you can really see the difference between a solar only scope and a solar filter for your telescope. What an amazing difference. You can really see the features of the sun through this. And the DS287 camera that we're using, it's a 1.25 inch camera, so it fits in the lunch just perfectly. It's not a highly detailed camera. It's not like what we have on Clyde or Lucy out there. Those are big cameras, and they have a lot of megapixels, and they have giant sensors in them. This one does not, but you know what? There are some guys that have photo albums on the Mountain Cam site. If you go to groups.io and go to the Mountain Cam site on there and join up, and you'll be able to see amazing photos of galaxies and nebulas with these 287 cameras. They work really well, and they're super affordable as far as cameras for telescopes go. Oh, very cool, Carolyn. I'm glad you and your son can watch the eclipse along with us. A lot of people still have to go to work, and they don't get to do this. And I imagine there's a lot of people streaming this eclipse, though. I would think so. But we'll see. We'll see how their weather goes. And you know, they were calling for Texas to have like not really good weather. Oh, it would be so disappointing to drive all the way to Texas and not be able to see or stream a good portion of this eclipse. But here in Arizona, it's looking pretty good right now. You can see in the bottom right hand corner of your screen there, a lot of those clouds are going away. This is looking amazing. This is really good. And we can let's take our gain up a little bit, and we'll check out some of these prominences on the sun. There we go. And you can see some of these solar flares coming off the sun. These prominences is what they're called. They're huge. They're as big as the Earth is, which is crazy. If we were there, we would go up in a ball of flames. It would just burn us to a crisp. All right, very cool. Now, do you know? I'm going to tell you if you don't know, because I don't really know. I had to look this up. I had one of my co-workers, James, he asked me one day, he said, why do stars, why do they light up? That's a good question, because in space, it is so infinite and black. Because every star is a sun. I didn't know that. And, I never even thought about it. But every star is a sun. There is a few classifications of suns. I forget what our sun is. I think it's an M-class star or something like that. But they have all these classifications of suns. And did you know that there are very few suns like our sun? This is including size, brightness and intensity and heat, and they take all these things into account. And there's only out of all those bazillions of stars, like if you tune in and watch our streams when we do some of our galaxies on our nebulas, the screen on some of these just has millions of stars in these in this tiny little section, and every one of those is a sun, and around each one of those is probably some type of planet or exoplanets or something orbiting those, and the amount of planets that are in the inhabitable zone like ours is, they give it like this little graph to show you, is like almost none. So we are really a phenomenon out here, but you never know. They have found one planet that is in the inhabitable zone, and in fact, it is even more inhabitable than our planet by just a few percentage numbers. It's very cool, and I don't know. Maybe if Elon gets enough funding, maybe we could go there. I don't know. I think it's so many thousand light years away. We're not going there anytime soon, but it would be cool. Wow, we are moving right along. We've got to be at least what? We've got to be at least 40% covered. So let's see here. Yeah, we're at least 40%. I'm hoping that we're at least, if you follow my little mouse there, that we're at least this much covered. I'm hoping we can take up these sunspots. If we can take up those sunspots, that will be very cool. Excellent. Wow. What a difference between the solar filter and the LUNT. Amazing. I know our beautiful co-host had to go to work today, and she she texted me and she told me, "Don't message me. I'm streaming this in the office." So she is streaming Starlight Starbright Observatory in the office, and it's hopefully everybody's enjoying this. Remember, this is we are not going to see this again for many, many, many years. So we need to eat it up now while we can. So make sure that tonight, I don't know if we're going to have to see tonight. That would be 3 streams in a row, 3 days in a row. We stream. We stream Saturday night and we stream Sunday night, and we are streaming today. Make sure that you go to starlightstarbrightobservatory.com. You can go into the streamings. There's a menu up there. Pick the streaming sites, the streaming page, and then you can go there and you can pick what stream you want to see. We stream to Twitch, we stream to YouTube, and we stream to Facebook. We haven't started streaming to X yet. It is it's an option. But I haven't done it yet. I only think we have a few followers, and I don't even think they're real followers. So eventually, when we get enough time and enough energy to get X going, I would like to do that also, because Elon is he's into this stuff just like we are. But make sure you go there, pick your streaming platform, go to that site, and then make sure you click on follow, and put your bells and whistles on to make sure that you know when Starlight Starbright Observatory is live on some of these amazing streams. We're going to be doing some amazing targets coming up. Don't forget, it's galaxy season. I don't know if it's officially galaxy season. I don't even know when that officially starts. But yes, if you followed our stream last night and the night before, you can go to Stellarium, which you can get for your phone or your PC for free, and you can see what's in the universe. You can go there, and the amount of galaxies is just absolutely mind-blowing. The screen just has little red dots everywhere that represent a galaxy, and there's so many cool ones we can see. Last night we did M66 group, which is M66, M65, and NGC 4387. I can't remember, but it is the 2 Messier objects and an NGC catalog. I don't know the names of the other 2, but one is the Hamburger Galaxy, and it does look Nothing like a hamburger, but it is on a sideways plane, so it looks amazing. We got an amazing picture of the, and it's called the Leo triplet. We got that last night, and then we did the Black Eye Galaxy right before that, and it came out amazing. And they are, I think it's a Black Eye Galaxy 30 million light years away or 17 million light years away. After 100 light years, is anybody really counting how far it is away? I mean, realistically, it doesn't really matter. But it is millions of light years away, and we are able to see an amazing amount of detail. And we use Clyde to see those. No, Cassandra, I don't think this will cause the internet to go down. I've seen so many posts about that today. And last week, people are declaring states of emergency. If the internet goes down, we'll all be the first to know. Because our stream will end. But you know what? We do have Starlink here. So, but we aren't streaming through Starlink. We usually have a little bit of trouble streaming through Starlink with drop frames. But I haven't tried it wired yet. I'm not sure if we tried it in the old observatory wired or not. But through the Wi-Fi, we have a lot of drop frames. So we use a local internet provider here. We're not wired. It is a 5G access, but it is source we used when we had our other observatory, and it's been very good. Wow, we are moving. We are moving. Now, the way this works, let's go over, I'm going to show you here. Let's see here. For those of you that don't know, this is kind of how we could see with Lucy, we see that sort of coming through there like that. This is how the eclipse is going to go. And then once we get to totality, right there, that's what we're getting here in Phoenix, Arizona. It sort of just kind of slides, it turns a corner and slides off just like that. So you'll have the Pac-Man on one side, and then it'll turn around and it'll go away on the other side just like that. Just so you know sort of how we're going to be looking at it. So what we're looking at right here is it's going to slide around like this. The top is going to be visible, and then it's going to sort of roll around underneath, and then the Pac-Man will come on this side and it will be an opposite side. That's sort of how it's going to look. All right, let's look at Clyde out here. Let's see if we can see the real sky. Wow. The clouds are dissipating, and Lucy's out there doing her job. That's not a real alien back there, by the way. That's a flag, but it could be. You never know. All right, let's see here. We are at 10:50. It is 10:54 Mountain Standard Time, and we are going to 11. See, did they say? Let me see here. Maximum is at 11:20 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. 11:20. So we have about 25 minutes to maximum of what we're going to get here in Arizona. Very good, very good. Let's see here. Now, when we overexpose this with a solar filter, as you can see, there are no prominences on a solar filter. You can only get that through a pressure telescope. So that looks really cool. I can't wait till we get at least a little bit of an edge around there, and it's going to be great for photography. All right, let's move our exposure up just a little bit here. Let's see here, and I believe we can move our gain up just a little bit so that it's nice and bright. There we go. Amazing. You know, and it is getting darker as that moon comes in between the sun and the earth. It's actually going to start to get a little bit darker. It's actually, it doesn't really look it's getting any darker out here in Arizona because it's so bright all the time. But it is getting darker. Yeah, it is. It is, Chuck. It's pretty dark outside already. It's too bad we're not in Texas and we're getting a total eclipse out there to where it's actually dark. I don't think it'll be actually dark, but I can't wait to see some of these other streams and look at them later and see how they are doing with theirs. Let's see here. Let's see how our lunch's going. Oh, very cool. I'm actually going to go over here and I'm going to reposition the Skywatcher because I can't control it with the computer, so I have to actually go out there and manually touch the pad on it to make it move a little bit. I'm going to move it just a little bit and just tweak the focus a little bit more because I think the telescope is starting to get warm out there and I can see that we're just off on it just a little bit. So I will be right back in just a second. All right. All right, so I did a little bit of adjustment on the Skywatcher and the Lunt. There we go. Look at these amazing prominences right there. That is very cool. It's actually getting pretty dark. Let's see here. Let's take our gain down. I adjusted the pressure just a little bit in there. We can see a little bit more detail on the surface over here. Looks very cool. We're getting close. We are, it's 11:02 here, Mountain Standard Time. Remember, 11:20 is the maximum we are going to see here in Arizona. And then let's see here. Maximum is 11:20, and then we'll be around for about another hour as it moves totally off. But don't go out and look at the sun without eclipse glasses, please. I know it sounds like a broken record. I don't want anybody hurting their eyes. It's not good to do. You know, I don't know if you get sunburn in your eyes or if it really medically hurts you. I know I've had welder's flash before, and it is not fun. Your eyes get like sunburnt and they get like all yucky. It's not good. All right, so let's see here. Let's see here. So the next solar eclipse, annular, is October 2nd in 2024. It's not going across. It's going across North America, but it's going to be in much of South America, Pacific, Atlantic, and Antarctica. It's not going to be here. Let's see here. March 29th, 2025 is a partial eclipse, solar eclipse. And that's going to be you're going to get some of it looks like in the very, very northeast up in Canada. That's what it says. There isn't any that go through the United States again. So this is going to be a long time. So I did read though that the eclipses are on a cycle. So this eclipse has happened before, and I forget when it was. I don't know if it wasn't in the 70s. It was 1917 or it was somewhere around there that this happened before. Let's see here. Let's see what we got here. See here. See if NASA has any information. Let's see here. Looks like Dallas is going to be 12:23 Central Time. They're not going to get it over back east until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's crazy. We're almost there. It's 11:06, and another 10 minutes, we will be at maximum. And look, there's that last sunspot on the bottom of that screen. It looks like we are going to take out those sunspots. This is super cool looking. It's amazing. It's very exciting. So here's from astronomy.com. Here is, I don't know how many it says, 25 facts about today's solar eclipse. Today, this is the first total solar eclipse in the continental U.S. in 7 years. Oh, thanks for the like, Jay. Let's see here. Oh, a solar eclipse only happens at a new moon. Very interesting. The moon has to be between the sun and the earth for solar eclipse to occur. The only lunar phase when that happens is new moon. Very interesting. Eclipse totalities are all different lengths. So each eclipse has a different length of totality. I think this one is actually pretty long. I think they were saying up to 7 minutes, or the last one was 7 minutes, and this one's going to be 5. But it is has a pretty long totality on it. Everyone in the U.S., in the continental U.S., will see at least a partial eclipse. So make sure that if you're not in the path, you still have your eclipse glasses or your welding helmet or something that you can look through. Please do not use sunglasses or pour any kind of camera at this without an actual solar filter or a solar scope. You know, on the mounts, we have our Los Mandy G11T on Clyde, and then we have our Orion Atlas, and we have like a little Omni mount for smaller scopes that was lent to us for outreach. If you click go to the sun, it comes up with about 2 or 3 warnings telling you not to point your telescope at the sun. So even the mounts, you have to click quite a few more buttons to let the mounts go to the sun to make sure that you're aware that you're not burning your eyes out. Today, the first contact today was in Texas with the eclipse, so they have already started. They started before us. Although we're pretty high on the list of starting, they were the first. The eclipse, the center line for totality, crosses 15 states. So 15 states are going to get this total today, which is very cool. Oh, here's what I wanted to know. It wasn't 7 minutes. Totality lasts a maximum of 4 minutes and 28 seconds. So at 11:20 Mountain Standard Time today, in 10 minutes, it's going to last for 4 minutes and 28 seconds before the moon starts on its path and moves off of the sun. Well, it's not on the sun, but in between the sun and the earth. The eclipse in the U.S. will end in Maine at 3:35 Eastern Standard Time on the edge of Littleton, Maine. An observer there would enjoy 3 minutes and 22 seconds of totality at 35 degrees high in the sky. That's not very high, 35 degrees. When we look at things here, we try to make sure that we're pretty high in the sky towards zenith, which is straight up. So if you're more towards zenith, the sky is clearer. And A little known unknown fact: if you're doing solar observing, um, it isn't any different than lunar or nighttime observing. Uh, the particles in the sky, um, the heat waves through the air, all of these things affect your viewing. And remember, the bigger your scope, the bigger your problems when it comes to magnification of things in the sky. This eclipse is going to be the most viewed ever. Probably because it goes through the United States, and it has had a ton of media coverage, which is very cool. So here's a little fact for you: don't do this, because we are not in a totality spot. We are only 65 to 70% coverage. During the moon's disk, when it covers the sun in totality, not where we are, only then is it safe to look at the eclipse without a solar filter or eclipse glasses. In fact, they're saying that it's an amazing event, that you can look at the sun and see the corona around it with the moon in front of it. But remember, we can't do that if you're not in the path. Don't look at the sun if it's got stuff exposed. You don't want to hurt your eyes. So the longest possible duration of the total eclipse of solar eclipse is 7 minutes and 32 seconds. Unfortunately, the next eclipse with a totality approaching 7 minutes won't occur till June 13th, 2132. Let's see. I don't think I'm not going to be here. So let's see here. That eclipse will have a maximum duration of 6 minutes and 55 seconds. And it will be the longest. So in June 30th, 1973, there was a 7 minute and 4 second totality experienced. June 30th, 1973. So I was just a baby. I was barely crawling. I don't know. I might have walked early. I don't know. So those are some amazing facts about our amazing eclipse. Boy, look at that. That is super, super cool. That looks amazing. I think, let's see here. I'm going to take a couple pictures of that. I've been taking a few pictures here and there as we go. And we are 5 minutes away from a total eclipse here in Arizona. It does look crazy outside right now, Amy. I know. I'm actually gonna at 11:20. I'm actually gonna walk out there and I'm gonna look at it. No, but I'm not gonna look directly at it because I don't have glasses. It is very cool. Actually, I have a welding helmet, but I'm not going to look at it like that. We'll just look at it here through the safety of our equipment. Look how... Let's go over here. Now, the LUNT and the solar scope is still very bright. But let's go over here to our C6R, and we can see how diminished the sun has become in there. We haven't changed any of the settings, and it was bright a few minutes ago, and now it's getting pale. So the moon is doing its job, and it's getting dark. And we can see. Let's go over here to our Clyde cam, and we can see out of the roof. It's actually starting to get a little bit darker out there, which is pretty crazy, right? Very cool. There's Lucy. Our that long skinny, we call it's like a yard cannon. It's like a giant cannon. But yes, that is who was doing the work today for us. And our Orion Atlas mount has been flawless today. I haven't even had to touch the controls. It is right on the money. So it's polar aligned fairly well. We use sharp cap and all to align it. It probably needs to be checked again since we put it in. But the polar alignment's good on it. So basically, I just started the scope. I told it to go to clockwise down and told it to go to the sun. It was a little off, and I'm able to use it with our little Xbox controller. It's a long story, but that's how we move it when I'm in the control room at the other computer. And we use EQ mod and set it to solar tracking, and it has not moved the whole time we've been on this, and we've been on this for a couple hours now. I see a lot of people popping in. It is 11:17 Mountain Standard Time, and we are almost. I guess I should have got some New Year's Eve, some party favors, but we are almost at total eclipse here. It is 11:18. Oh, hi Nora. Yes, it is very cool. We're almost there. 2 more minutes, and we will be at total eclipse here. And as much as we're going to get here in Arizona, it won't be a total totality eclipse here. But we are about 65 to 70%. It's actually much further in than I thought it was going to be. Just 2 more minutes, and then we'll see this moon sort of spins around under, and it will go right off to the left-hand side. And the Pac-Man will actually be on the other side as it exits the pathway of the Earth and the Sun. We are super excited here at Starlight Starbright to bring you this. Make sure that you go to one of our sites and you put the bells and the whistles on and the notifications so that you know when we're live. Because I like to announce when we go live, but a lot of times I like to live dangerous here, and we just come out and open the roof and start to stream up and go to look at something. You know, if it looks good out, I'll run out here and we'll open the roof up, get the scope fired up, and get on something and try and do a good stream and show you some amazing objects that are in our amazing galaxy. Well, not even in our galaxy, in these amazing universe. Go check out some of our past streams. You can see them on Facebook, and YouTube has all our past streams. Twitch only keeps them for so many days, and then they're gone. But Twitch has the best quality and the least lag as far as streaming goes. I've looked at all of them, and Twitch is definitely the best. It is just a streaming platform. Facebook is pretty good, and YouTube is okay too. But we've had to play with the stream a little bit to get it to look like it should, and it does now. But go check those out. Make sure that you are. We also have a mailer too. If you go to the website, you can sign up for our mailer, and then if there's any important news, I'll shoot an email, a large email out to everyone. I try not to do that too much because I get a lot of junk through there, and I just end up deleting them. All right, 11:20. There it is. We are at the maximum. We are going to get here in Arizona, and I'm going to say we're probably pretty close to 70% of the sun, and it's actually pretty dark out there. It's definitely, look at all those crazy clouds out there. It's definitely dimmer out here. Obviously, it's not dark, but very cool nonetheless. And there we go. Our solar scope is definitely bright, and there you have it. Isn't that cool? It is amazing that we are looking at the sky and the background is black. It does this. You can look at the moon in the day too with a telescope. If the moon's out, you can see it, but the black background is it's kind of weird. You would think it would be blue, but it's not because you're staring off into space. But I just thought that that was weird, how that works. And if you look at the moon, there's never any stars behind it, which is, it's just crazy. So very interesting. Oh, thanks, Keith. Thanks for the like. Keith is actually my boss at work. I'm not even gonna say he's probably not supposed to be mine, but it's a once in a lifetime event here for us, so we won't get to see this again. And I know they're having like a dealer meeting today for the state of the dealer where I work, but they've been there long before I started there, and they're going to be there long after I'm there. I don't think my presence is going to be missed too much. All right, this is amazing. So we should have like a couple minutes of just sitting here sort of at this. Take another picture. Boom, there it is. And I'm going to take a picture on this one too. There it is. Very cool. Looks like we've so our Skywatcher is sort of drifting off here because the sun is not as bright, and it's probably having a little bit of a hard time staying on target now. So let's go over here to our Atlas, and you can see that this the Eclipse is going to roll right over top of it and roll right off of it. Very cool. Thanks, Keith. It is worth it. Yes, for sure. That's okay. I'm sure my boss will be handing me a bunch of work orders tomorrow. That's how it works. All right. Wow, this is amazing. Since we're off on our Skywatcher mount here a little bit, I'm just going to go out here real quick, and I am going to see if I can't put it back in there and see if it'll track for a little while longer. All right. We fixed our little Skywatcher mount there. And now we are looking pretty good over there. Oh yeah, that's amazing. What an amazing shot. But as you can see, it's kind of waning back and forth as that sun gets a little bit dimmer. The mountain surely has a little bit of a problem. Oh my. Look at that. Look at this. Look at the prominence that's on the top of that. That is absolutely amazing. Wow. That is super cool. Unbelievable. That is crazy. As that moon starts to blot that out, you can really see these prominences start. The mount's not doing very well because it's not tracking. But that is amazing. Oh, thank you for the like, Alec, and thank you for subscribing. Wow, look at those prominences. Look at that. That is amazing. Now we don't get to see those with the solar, with just a solar filter on top of Lucy. You only get to see this through a actual pressure solar scope. Wow, that is super cool. It's actually like dusk outside. It's very cool. Oh, sorry, Alec. Sorry, you're no chance of an eclipse. You're watching from England. Oh, sure, I roll. I'm glad you are enjoying it. Actually, going to, let's see here. I'm going to go out there and fix this. I'd like to see a little bit more prominences. Too bad my co-host isn't here, or she could be manning the controls of this. All right. Look at those prominences. All right. I'm going to go out here and fix this. I'm going to fix this. All right, I think I fixed it. Yeah, Keith. Solar flares for sure. We get those through our solar-only scope, or pressurized scope. Yeah, it's Chucky. It's like Duskwood out here. If you ever play World of Warcraft, yes, it does look like Duskwood out here. Amazing. So yeah, as we play with the exposure times, we can bring the solar flares out. The game kind of makes it grainy. Let's see if we can do a little bit of exposure time on this. see here. Now there's some solar flares there. If this wasn't like this, we would be able to go out there and do our pressure tuning in it and get some better images. There we go. That mount's not tracking very well. All right, and there's Lucy. It's pretty, let's see here. We can turn our exposure time up a little bit here. We can do this. You can't see any solar prominences on the solar filter. Our gain, give a couple in our gain right there. Alec, we are using Cam Sky software. Cam Sky is a software that you get right from Cam when you buy their cameras. You can download it anyway. I don't know if it will work with any other cameras, but yes, Cam Sky. It's a very intuitive software. It does live stack. It's basically what we do here at Starlight Starbright Observatory is live EAA, electronically assisted astronomy. We don't really do astrography, and we do a little bit of visual, but obviously we can't show that. But we do a live assisted, electronically assisted astronomy, and we do live stacking on the fly, and that's how we do our streams. And we use a Hyperstar most of the time. So this way our exposures are extremely short, and within an hour we can do a couple targets and they turn out fairly well. I know some people can use SharpCap. SharpCap is now supporting Cam, so if you have a Cam, SharpCap works with that too. Wow, that is very cool. You can see the sun or the moon starting to roll right off the top of the sun there. Totality is done for us here in Arizona. It's over. 4 minutes. It was at 11:20. A couple minutes of totality, and now we're on the downward spiral of the April 8th solar eclipse. Very cool. Oh, looks like our sky watcher has corrected itself. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some of these solar flares. It's moving back down again. If it comes back down again, there's quite a few solar prominences on the top of the sun there. Actually a little breezy here. We're doing pretty good on Lucy out there. Looks like we still have plenty of swing in our telescope. Wow, how cool is that? Quite a bit of difference between the Lunt solar only scope. We definitely have some clouds rolling by. They're pretty much gone, just mostly just wispy stuff right now. Anytime, Alec. Want to look out here and see what's happening out in the observatory. We got some heavy cloud cover coming over. It's not going to affect us a whole bunch. We'll be able to see through it. The sun's pretty bright. But you can see it's actually kind of it's like dusk out here, which is pretty crazy. I wasn't able to look up at the sun because I don't have special glasses. Make sure you're wearing your glasses. Alec, yes, we do regular live streams, depending on the weather. We are in Arizona, and sometimes I can't lie. Sometimes how tired I am from work, but we try to do. I would like to do 2 streams a week if I can. There's so many objects to see. Sometimes we go in little spurts. Sometimes it's been super cloudy here, so unfortunately, which is weird for Arizona. It's the worst I've ever seen it. But the last couple nights we did one Saturday and we did one Sunday. We did I think we did the Crocseye Galaxy, and then I think there was another galaxy, but it didn't have a name. It was just an NGC catalog number. And then last night we did the Leo triplet M66 group, and we did the Black Eye Galaxy M64. They both turned out wonderful. Yeah, we try to do regular streams all the time. We try to bring this to everybody and get everybody interested in astronomy. We also did, for the grand opening of our new observatory here in our new location, we did a telescope giveaway. I'd like to do more of those, stuff like that. Maybe some of that and some merchandise. Not that we're that big, but we love bringing astronomy to everybody. It is absolute family event, and it's interesting to see what's in our universe, and most people don't even know it's there. They're too busy staring at their phones. But you can stare at your phone if you're watching our stream. That's okay. You're allowed to do that. Stare at your phone if you're watching our stream. All right. Let's see here. Yep, it's starting to move around there. Let's see if we can't get some of this. I'm going to move that down just a hair, because I want to see those solar flares on top of that sun. I'm going to go hit the button. I'll be right back. All right. Unfortunately, the way we have it here, I have to turn one of my monitors around and put it up against the control room window. We have like a viewing window so I can see the scopes. All right. Let's see if we can see these flares. Oh my, look at that. That's picture worthy. I'm grabbing a picture. That is amazing. Look at the size of that flare. That is incredible. That is absolutely, it's absolutely humongous. The Earth could probably fit in that little teeny part of it right there. That's how tiny we are compared to the sun. Wow. What an amazing, amazing shot. That is incredible. Very cool. You know, with the sun being partially eclipsed like that, it's actually easier to pull those prominences out and see them. And that's live time. That's a live video right now of the sun. We're at like, we're at 0.1 milliseconds is our exposure time, and we're at 17 gain. Doing gain to try and pull those prominences out. I'm not going to go out there and mess with the pressure filters or anything, but you can really tune those in with the Lunt pressure scope, and you can either see more or less of the prominences, or you can see more of more details in the surface. The surface, if you play with it, it almost ripples. And the camera is not quite the same as your eye. You can, with your eye, if you have a lens in there, you can actually see kind of both at the same time. The camera is not quite as good as your eye. That is super, super cool. What an amazing picture right there. Very cool. Kind of pull that gain down a little bit. You pull that gain down and then they sort of disappear, and then you have that amazing surface on the sun. Let's see here, and you can see Lucy. She's doing great. That moon is just rolling right off the top of there. Wow, we've been on here 2 hours and 37 minutes. That's probably the longest stream I've ever done. I think the lunar eclipse. Last time I did a lunar eclipse, I don't think it was quite this long. But we want to make sure we get all of this, and then we want to make sure that we are snapping some cool photos to share with everyone. Yep, you can see in that bottom right hand corner of your screen, you can see the clouds going by. It's pretty cloudy out today. They're kind of burning away. Of course, it's getting on. I hate to say this, but as soon as the eclipse is over, it's going to be sunny out here. There won't be a cloud in the sky. That's the way it usually works. Let's see here. And we are running 2 instances. If anybody else uses a Mountain Camp Sky, we are running 2 instances of Mountain Camp Sky on the same computer. It can be done to view 2 different cameras. I imagine if you had the processing power, you could do more. But we have our other machine behind us, our other station that you can see behind me there. That controls the Orion Atlas mount. I have 2 separate machines here for to control the mounts, because you can't get confused when you're controlling the mounts. It's easy to switch between screens and click a button or something on the wrong one and not watch what you're doing and make your mount make your scope hit your mount or something like that. They're not supposed to, but accidents can happen. So we use 1 PC per mount. That's the way I like to do it. I feel safe that way. So back over there behind me controls the Orion Atlas, and it also controls we do the guiding and everything all through that computer. Just for that mount, this mount here controls the Los Mandy mount and the C14, and does all the guiding for that. But we do the cameras usually on just one machine or the other. Wow, it's actually seems like it's fading quicker than it came in. And we're definitely less than 50% already. Well, that was a weird noise. Oh, thanks, Chrissy, for the like. I appreciate that. Let's see here. Oh yeah, it's moving away. It's way quicker than it seemed to be when we started. Let's see here. Let's see what our solar flares look like. Wow, that is crazy looking. Down on exposure on the other one just a little bit. Wow, that is super, super cool. Amazing. Now, you know what? When we started, that solar flare was not there. So that's just sort of, it had them, but it was not that one. We were looking at some on the bottom over here. That's what we were looking at. Very cool. You know, and I don't know how often that they change. We haven't got our sunspots back yet. There's usually two really big sunspots that are on the sun, and they are not visible yet in either scope. So I guess the eclipse is going to roll right around those. Oh, thanks Chen for the like. Let's see here. Let's see here. So if we go back to our mount here, let's see here. Let's see here. So let's see here. We are trying to see who is going to get this. So we're about an hour off. Spring ahead, drive forward. So let's see here. Central Standard Time 11:12:1. So there's a little bit of time for these people right through here are going to be starting next. We may be able to catch a stream ourselves and see who's actually broadcasting. I'm going to go back and check Live Skies later and the Malin campsite to see if anybody was able to broadcast from Texas, which is going to be super cool. I hope they did. And remember, we're right here in Little Florence, Arizona. All right, let's turn our exposure time up a little bit on this. Let's see here. We can do it with the keys a little bit easier. There we go. You can see the clouds sort of wisping over top of the sun there. You know, the clouds affect focus and on everything, you know, as that passes through. And of course, the bigger your scope, the more magnified they become, and the bigger the problem they come. Yeah, Alec, the flares are amazing. They last, it seems like they last a long time, and then they sort of like kind of change up. It's really unbelievable. Of course, it's pretty far away, so I mean, it takes a while for the us to view what's actually happened. Let's see here. Yep, it's definitely moving off of there quite quickly. Wow. Amazing. And you can go out there and play with the scope, and you can get the sun detail and the prominences in. We won't be doing that. It usually takes me and my co-host to do that together. But you can see the surface details of the sun very much more with the lens than you can with just a solar filter on a regular telescope. I have to say, I was almost worried this morning. I'm like, oh my gosh, the Skywatcher isn't going to be able to stay on the sun, but it's done an absolutely phenomenal job. I'm not disappointed at all in it. And then, of course, Lucy and the Orion Atlas has just been rock solid the whole time we've been on it here. It has never even moved, and we've been on it a couple hours. But you know, it was funny. Frank from Stellar Vision Astronomy, we were there probably a couple years ago. I was like, and our co-host, she goes, I want to look at the sun. And I'm like, he goes, well, here's some solar film. And I remembered that I had that this morning, And so I had to run out to our storage container and where I put some of our storage boxes from the move for the observatory, and the solar paper was still in there, so I was able to affix that to the front of the scope fairly easily. We have like a two-stage cap on there. We have the whole lens cap, but then we have like a center section, like if you want less light. So like if you're looking at something brighter, the planets, the moon, you don't have to take that whole lens cap off. You can kind of limit it a little bit of the light. And I was able to put the solar film right in there, and it worked like a charm. It's amazing. I'm super happy. Oh, you can see those clouds are going across there. You can see the surface of that sun change. Very interesting. Oh, right here we've got one of our sunspots coming back right here. So hopefully that tracks back a little bit. I haven't had to touch it just a few times to reposition kind of where I wanted to see. Yep, there's our sunspot is coming back right there. Very cool. Definitely still a lot of wispy clouds out there, for sure. This has been quite an event. This is absolutely amazing. Although I'm missing free lunch at work. I don't know what they had. It was probably pretty good. I'm not sure. It's probably something I actually like. They're usually pretty good. They treat us pretty good there. We have regular meetings all the time, and they're always taking care of us there at Stoats Equipment. They're super good about it. Everybody there is super nice. Even me, I'm super nice too. Well, most of the time, 30% of the time. So, very cool. Let's see here, and I believe, let's check out our. Oh, yep, it's moving off of there. Those clouds are playing with the tracking quite a bit, but hopefully, as they dissipate, like it has been, it dissipates, and then that the camera finds the sun again and puts it right back in the center. I'm very impressed with how the Skywatcher Solar Quest mount has been working. Oh, Keith just told me it's his pizza rolls at work today for our meeting. Very cool. I like the pizza rolls. Yeah, quite a bit of cloud cover now. That's okay. We got through it. We're going to stay here till the end of it, and until we're over the eclipse, and then we'll have to put this event in the books. So we have it ends at 12:35 p.m. If you're just joining in, we're on the tail end of the eclipse. We weren't total here in Arizona. We were about 70%. It was amazing. We've got some pictures here. I'll show them to you here in a second. The whole duration is 2 hours and 27 minutes. And it's 11:55 and ends 12:35 p.m. MST Mountain Standard Time, and so just about 40 minutes or less than that, 35 minutes now, will be done our eclipse event. Very cool. I can't wait to see some of the other videos that are posted. I'm sure there'll be some people out there with some amazing equipment doing some amazing things, far better than we would. But this is great. You know what we do here? We are amateurs here. I really don't know anything other than I bought a lot of equipment to make us look good, better than we actually are. So I like to see all these different people, and they're really into it, and they're have all these amazing pictures. Uh, I like I like to show and to stream more realistic of what you're going to get with your telescopes and equipment, and what an amateur can do just by jumping in and getting to it. Um, we don't do astrography here. Astrography is a lot of post processing. It is a lot of camera time, um, a lot of camera time. We try to get most of our images within, you know, uh, a long one would be a half hour's worth of me blabbing uh, utter nonsense, trying to make you believe something that I'm not even sure I know myself. But that's what we do here, and then we do quicker imaging here with the Hyperstar system, and I try to pick brighter objects and more known objects. This way, it's astronomy could be very discouraging very quickly. You go out to the store, and you go to Hobby Lobby or someplace like that, Costco, and you buy a telescope from there. And oh, thanks, Keith. Oh, Keith, they're off to the meeting now. They're gonna miss me, but that's okay. Um, you go to the store, you buy one of these telescopes, you're excited, your family's excited, and they are just not very good at all. They are what in the astronomy world we would call hobby killers. Um, they're bad. Uh, but any scope is better than no scope. So, and they're very good. They're not the, are trying. You don't want to be snobby. I see a lot of these people being snobby on here, on some of these forums about the equipment. If you're enjoying it and you're getting some good views of like the moon, that's where I would start. Start with the moon. It's easy to find. It's up all the time. You really don't have to have much of a scope, or even binoculars. If you have binoculars are amazing too, just to get started, and to see if it's something you want to do. I know our telescope winners. We gave away I believe it's a Celestron 102 XLT or S something like that, SLT. It's 102 millimeters. It is actually, I have another one here. I actually use it sometimes. It's actually a pretty decent scope to start with. It's got a motorized mount. Once you figure out how to get it polar aligned and get it set up at night, it'll go to the images you want fairly easily. And that's what you want. It can get very frustrating, first off, if you don't know anything and you're trying to star hop. The best thing if you're star hopping is you spend some money on a giant Dobsonian on a wooden mount, or a big plastic mount that you have to manually use. And it's actually kind of better because you'll learn the sky and where things are. I'm not very good at that. I know a few constellations and what's in there. But once you get into it and you know where Orion's at and you know where the Big Dipper's at, you're going to be able to find some amazing things in there. Orion has a ton of stuff to look at. The Big Dipper has quite a few galaxies to look at in there. It's very cool. So yes, any scope is better than no scope. But the used market is a really good place to buy stuff. If you're thinking about getting into astronomy, get online, get the number, call Frank down at Stellar Vision Astronomy in Tucson, tell him what you want to do. He'll have a scope in your budget and he'll send it to you, and you'll be happy. And you'll be able to buy a lot more scope with less money, and that's what you want to do. It's like buying a used car. Nobody wants to pay the loss right off the bat. But a telescope, a good telescope will last you forever. Some of the equipment we have now, I know our C6R Lucy up there. It is an older. They don't even make that. I don't know if they make. They might make that one, but they don't make this particular one anymore. They don't make the C6R. It's I think they make it, but it's a little bit different version. This is an older version. On our mounts, an older version, but it was still able to hook up to the computer easily, and we'll get you going. Wow, we are really into some clouds now. Let's see here. You're really able to see the clouds in this scope. It's super cloudy. You can see them rolling along on the bottom right hand side of your screen. We've got about 20 minutes. Got about 20 minutes left on this, and then the eclipse will be over. But let's see here. So there we are. That's almost before, and right there, that is at 11:20. That was at 11:20 Mountain Standard Time. That is full eclipse here in Arizona. That's about 65-70% of the sun is obscured by the moon. Very interesting, very cool. And there we go. That's just a few minutes ago, where you can see the path it takes. It sort of just kind of rolls right off of there. It doesn't even. When you think about it, you know, you watch a TV show and it looks like the moon goes straight across. It doesn't really. Everything is round, unless you're a flat earther. Everything is round, and we're all going on arcs. So that's showing you the arc pattern that the moon is following. Very cool indeed. We're getting our sun. There's the first sunspot. The other one will be visible. It's up here somewhere, I believe. Let's see here. Let's see if we can brighten this up a little bit. Yeah, those clouds are tough. Now you can see we're overexposed here, and we're not getting the solar prominences because of the clouds. So luckily it's bright, and we're just getting the cloud cover running over. But those clouds, the same thing happens when you are doing you know, night viewing too. It's easy to see the clouds during the day, but at night it's not. You can look off in the distance to the horizon. If you have any type of light pollution, we have a little bit over there in the west, where Casa Grande and Coolidge are, and then sort of northwest. As there's some prisons out here. Florence is a prison town, for all the bad people go. I'm not there yet. But this is where all the bad people go, and I'm in prison. It's like an absolute city over there, and the electricity bill they have must be through the roof. And it does create a little bit of sky pollution over there. But we usually don't look at. Luckily, we don't really look at anything over there. Most of the viewing we do is from, I'm going to say, the northeast all the way around to the southwest. That's sort of the pattern that we follow. We don't look at some of the other stuff on the other sides where that light pollution is. We've situated our observatory to where when the roof opens, it's obscuring that part of the sky anyway. We don't even really look over there. Most of the stuff that's interesting is coming up in the east, and that's where we want to look. So again, make sure that as we're winding down our 2024 April 8th eclipse, solar eclipse, that you go to our website, starlightstarbrightobservatory.com, and you click on one of the streaming links and find the platform that you like, Twitch, Facebook, or YouTube, and subscribe or like or follow, and make sure that your notifications are on. And hopefully we'll gain a few more viewers from this, and you'll be able to come out with you and your family. You can sit there and stream this to the big TV and see all the amazing things in our universe that most people don't even know is there. It's absolutely amazing. It's very cool. So it's definitely getting brighter outside. If you want to see here, let's go to our telescope cam. It's definitely getting brighter, but there are quite a few there's quite a few clouds out there. Now, if you remember, Lucy over there, our C6R, was pointing almost towards that wall when we started, the nose of it, and now it's almost at zenith, straight up. And we still have quite a bit of room over there. It's going to make it. We're not going to have to do any type of meridian flips to reacquire the targets. Very cool. There it is. The Pac-Man's on the other side now. Very cool. It is absolutely. I'm very excited. This has been almost monumental for us here. This is very cool. I'm sure we'll have board discussions for the next week, a week or two on the Malin campsite. All the amazing pictures these guys are going to get. I can't wait. Alec, I think that the one we're at right now is actually pretty close to being oriented the way it is, or supposed to be. But no, we are not using an erector or anything like that, or any type of mirror flippers or anything like that. I just insert the cameras, and what I'll do is, if the target is showing usually one way in Stellarium when we do a stream, I'll go out there and just kind of twist the camera to make sure that what I show on Stellarium or in our star program is sort of what you're going to look up and see. But we don't normally do that. This is just kind of is what it is. That's why we have the difference between, if you notice this and this one, they're almost opposite of each other. So, and I'm not sure which one. I think, so I believe this picture, this camera that we're looking at right now, we're looking at the Lunt 50. This is correct, but if we flipped it, it would actually be, I believe, correct. So let's see here. Well, let me do that. I'm pretty sure it will. If we went down here and flipped it horizontally, right there, I believe that is correct. That's actually the path right there that we're actually using. So it would have came this way, right along the screen, just like this, in that form of an arc. So, and I don't think that would actually put our solar flares on the bottom right hand of the screen. Let's see if we can grab some of those. Oh, some right there at the top. That's amazing. Oh, that's been there for a while. But unfortunately, it's just a little bit too cloudy, and those are a little bit too hard to pull out. So the cameras stick in there a certain way, and they usually screw tight, and it's unless you have like a thumb adjuster screws or something like that, sometimes it's a little difficult to move them. Wow, our sunspots are almost back. Well, I'm glad that it wasn't a total cloudy loss today, and we got to see this and do it together. That is super fun. I'm super stoked about this. We'll definitely be posting pictures on our Facebook site, and we'll be adding them to our webpage. And I keep forgetting, but I've been trying to add some pictures to YouTube. I'm not sure how that works, but I've added them in there. I don't know where you view them at, just to try and get a little bit more exposure. No problem, Alex. And we've got about 15 minutes left. I think I may go out there and adjust this just a little bit more. Let's see here. Oh, thank you, Beth, and thank you for tuning in. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We enjoy bringing this to everyone. So I just did that pressure tuner just a little bit more, and you can see some of the surface details in the sun is absolutely amazing. Look at this line across here. Wow, that is crazy. It goes all the way up to here. Look at these lines right here. Wow. We don't normally get to see that, obviously, with our naked eye to see what the sun actually looks like, but very cool. A picture of that right there. We usually do about an hour broadcast here, so this is super long for us. We've been here over 3 hours. Oh my goodness, crazy. But I thoroughly enjoyed it. We've had tons of viewers in and out of here today, so very interesting. We are almost off here. 12:15. I believe 12:35. I believe that's what timeanddate.com said. Yes, 12:35. It ends. Now remember, even though it's the end of the eclipse here, don't go out and try to look at don't try to look at the sun, please. Make sure you have this last little bit you're using a solar filter, a solar scope, or eclipse glasses. Do not use sunglasses. We want everybody to keep their eyeballs not burned out of their heads. Wow, I have to tell you, we haven't used our Orion Atlas mount a whole lot. I know our beautiful co-host, she has been wanting to do planets, and of course, since we put it in, the planets are out in the daytime. It's just that time of year, but it'll come and go, and hopefully, we are going to get some great lunar shots with this, and then we are going to get some great Jupiter pictures with this, and star clusters. I want to do the great Hercules cluster with our C6R with our big refractor, because the color I did one the other night and I forget what it was. I just did a globular cluster, and I had both of the scopes going, and I did one on Clyde, which is a C14 with a Hyperstar, and then I did comparison with the C6R. I believe Clyde was crisper and cleaner. The picture was more crisp and clean, a little bit more detailed. But the refractor, you could see all the different colors in the stars. They were actually gold, and there was like bright white ones around it, and actually some reddish and then bluish ones. So the colors are definitely a lot different and more pronounced in the refractor. It's very cool. It's very interesting that now that we have both of them, to be able to compare them side by side. And the C6 is at a higher F value. Clyde is only at like F2, which is like ridiculous, right? I think the C6R is around F7. So it's definitely a little bit more focused and pinpoint. It's not totally a long focus telescope, but it's kind of halfway in the middle there. This way we can still use it for live streams and live imaging, because nobody wants to sit here and watch paint dry or listen to me talk about nothing for an hour while we're trying to get a picture. That's totally uninteresting. Well, we're getting there. We're almost where we started off from, with the moon. The disk is almost off. Very cool. Actually getting a little breezy out there. I can see the flag on the wall moving. You can see here there's Clyde, who is sleeping, and there's Lucy. She's almost at zenith. And you can't see out the door, but right outside the door there is our Skywatcher scope, or our Skywatcher mount with our Lunt 50 scope on it, and our Mountcam DS 287 on there, and that's what's doing the live pressure telescope out there. Very cool. I will say it is it's nice having the control room on the new observatory. Our old one did not have a control room. I sat in the room with the scope, which I liked, but I didn't like the bugs, and I didn't like the heat, and I didn't like the cold. But the cold's not bad. You can always bundle up in the cold, but when it gets hot, it's hard to sit out there and do some of these streams. But the new one's got a beautiful little control room with it. As you can see behind me, it's super cool, super cozy, and it's just right for streaming and controlling both of these amazing pieces of equipment we have. We are very fortunate. Well, we're getting there. Our sunspot is back. Look at the amazing, just by turning that pressure a little bit. The sun's out right now. Let's see here. Let's see if we can get some of these solar flares. Oh, it's up top. But that's it. There's only one up top. I've seen it where they're like almost all the way around, but right now it just seems to be that one. Now, if we were to go out there and turn the pressure tuner the opposite way and take pressure out of it, and that's when the prominences start, you can get a nice fine adjustment in between there, between focus and the pressure tuner, and you can actually make all that appear sort of almost on the same image, and get some really great video. If you get video, you can go stack it. You can do whatever you want with it. We don't really do that here. We just take pictures and snaps and do a little post-processing and put our watermark on it, and that's how we do things here. It's a little bit more relative of what you're actually going to see, based upon regular equipment, or even a little better. We have a little better equipment here, but what normal people would see with their telescopes, when you go and you look at an image, say it's a whirlpool galaxy, and you see all these little tiny dots and details, and it looks like somebody painted it, or it looks like a photograph, like it was next door. Those pictures probably have not just one but several nights worth of imaging and thousands of photos, and how they're putting them together in these stacking programs. And oh, hey Vaughn, yes, it's very cool, thank you. I'm glad you're getting educated with us. This won't be around again, probably not in our lifetime. But those images you see on the internet, they probably got 4 or 5 hours worth of photo integration in it. We do everything, and we try to do everything in 10 to 20 minutes. And our photos, they actually turn out pretty good. And there's very little processing. Once in a while, we'll put it in the GIMP to adjust some levels, because it's more refined than Mountain Camp Sky. But sometimes, we did it on the fly in Mountain Camp Sky, and I put it in the GIMP, and I go to do it, and it really doesn't turn out as good as it was in Mountain Camp Sky. So a lot of them we just leave them and post them as we get them. Some nights are better than others, just depending on the scene. All right, we're winding down here. It is 12:23, almost that time. Let's see here. Let's see how our refractor is looking. It's looking pretty good. Let's see here. Take a little exposure out of that. There we go. I think it's definitely coming a little out of focus now, but we're not going to mess with it now. We're on the tail end here. It's still pretty good. That sunspot's I could just start to see it's getting a little out of focus. As you know, it's getting warmer out here now. I think when we started it was like 60 degrees. It's now almost 70. So 10 degrees different. Your scope warms up, and you're starting to get some of those heat waves come out of the observatory, out of the concrete. Oh, and there's our other sunspot right there. It's finally showing up. We still, if you look closely, we still have clouds rolling across there. But luckily it didn't ruin it for us, and we are in good shape. Alec, it was a pleasure meeting you. You're new to the streams. Thank you. I'm glad. I'll try not to disappoint you. I might bore you, but we won't disappoint you in the content. So thank you for coming out, Alec. Yeah, hopefully we can generate a few more viewers for our regular weekly streams, or bi-weekly streams, depending on the weather, to get some of these targets we're going to be doing are amazing. Oh my goodness, I can't wait to show them to you. My favorite is the nebulas, but I love those globular clusters. There's so many stars in there. It's actually, I don't know how to describe it. You can't even count them all. And oh, I hear a jet. We're here. We're here near Tucson, and we have lots of fighter jets come over quite a bit. It's very cool, and a lot of the helicopters. It's super cool to watch. All right, we are winding down. Let's see here. Oh, we're able to see that solar flare right at the top. Wow, look at that thing. That is crazy. Wow, and we're 300% zoomed in. Very cool. Oh, it looks like we're starting to get a flare right down here at the bottom. If you see that right there. Very cool. Then we take that gain out, and then we're instantly able to see the surface details of the sun. Wow, that's amazing. Still quite a bit of cloud cover, as you see over there in the bottom right hand side of your screen. So I'm very surprised we haven't had to do anything to this this Orion Atlas mount today. It's absolutely run flawless. I love it. There must be quite a few birds out there. Their real Clyde is out in the fence and out there, and I hear him barking. I don't know if you can hear it in the microphone or not. I can hear it over my headphones. Now, he barks at everything, anything that flies, and we have a lot of birds out here. All right, just a few more minutes. So, I guess NASA is streaming this on Twitch too. Let's see here. Now that we're winding down on our stream. Oh, they're in New York. I guess we could have been following along to this too, but yep. They just announced that it's almost in Maine, so it didn't take very long, and it'll soon be over. Wow, amazing. Well, hopefully tonight. I think it's going to be cloudy most of the night. I don't think we'll be able to stream tonight. You know, I'm not super well. Our co-host will say I'm super particular, but you know, I like to give if you're taking time out of your busy life in your night or your day to watch these streams, I want to make sure that you know you're getting your time's worth. So I want to make sure that the images that we are going to try to acquire are quality and interesting to see. Nobody wants to see fuzzy pictures. Unless you like fuzzy pictures, you know, like velour pictures, and then that's fine. But we don't try to do that here. We try to keep everything as clean as possible. We're almost there. It's almost over. Let's see if we can get that flare was coming out at the bottom there. We have some right along there. You can see those flame edges. That one at the top is amazing though. I can't believe that's still there. All right. Well, thankfully I put enough gas in the generator for us to do this today. I had to run out late last night and get gas. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm almost out of gas. Very cool. I think that's we're just about done. You know what? These times, this NASA has mapped out. I mean, it's right on the money. Exactly at 10:08, you could start to see a little piece of the sun start to go away, and now at 12:31, it's over at 12:30, 12:35. 12:35. It's going to be gone. Amazing. But since it is a once in a lifetime event for me, for us here at Starlight Starbright Observatory, we are sticking it out to the end. We're going to do it. Because I would be disappointed. We would be disappointed if we didn't stick it out to the end. Sometimes you just have to. You know, it seemed to go quickly at first and then slow down, and then as it rounded, got through totality, it seemed to move off very quickly, and now it seems to be taking longer, which is, I guess it's like anything, you know, the ride there is long and the ride home is quick. I don't know why that is. Let's see here. Let me read this. In the last few minutes, these are from timeanddate.com, eclipse, solar eclipse myths. Some of them I'm not even going to read because they're ridiculous, right? Uh, Modern day sun superstitions. Uh, Fear of solar eclipses still exists today. Many people around the world still see eclipses as evil omens that bring death, destruction, and disasters. It's amazing that these people are out there, but they are. And if you're one of them, I don't know what to tell you. They're not going to bring anything. Uh, a popular misconception is that solar eclipses can be dangerous to pregnant women and their unborn children. That's totally false. Let's see here. Um, in many parts of India, people fast during a solar eclipse due to the belief that any food cooked while an eclipse happens will be pure poisonous and unpure. That won't happen. I guarantee it. I think right after here, I'm going to McDonald's. I don't know. I might go to Sonic. Maybe I'll go to Sonic. Let's see here. Since I missed the pizza rolls at work. Let's see here. Well, and I'm glad because my son forgot his noodles today, but at least he's getting fed. Thank goodness. We're almost there. I see it moving. I see that last little bit of the eclipse. We are at 12:34. We have 1 more minute left. And then it's going to be all gone. Yep, there's our last little bit right there. Our sunspots are back. There it is. Look at that. It's 12:35. By the time this minute is over, it will be gone. Amazing. Wow, look at the detail on that surface of that sun. Look at these beautiful lines. We're going to do more solar broadcasts as we get better with it. We just kind of do a little bit at a time as we learn and we go. Once my co-host is here to help me, we'll be able to do a little bit better. We'll be able to both man, because you have to move that pressure sensor to get some different things, and it'd be easier if someone was streaming and another person was manning the pressure scope. All right, there it is. It's 12:36. There it is, the end of the eclipse. There's a picture of our beautiful sun. I'll take another snap of that. It turned out great. I'll take another snap on this one over here, and then I will go and I will process. I will go and I will process them. All right. See here. Oh, did very good. Very good. All right. I think that's it, everybody. We've been on here for 3 hours and 30 minutes. It's been a long time. I'm a little thirsty and I'm getting a little hungry. I'm going to save all our pictures and I'll process them and put them up a little later. I want to thank everyone. We had an enormous amount of viewers today, and I thank everyone for coming out and enjoying this with us. And we love sharing all these amazing things in our universe with you. And make sure you go to our site. Check it out. It's got great stuff on there. Pick your streaming platform, and then make sure to like, subscribe, and put all your notifications on. And join us here again next time. Thanks, Jason. I appreciate the like, brother. And join us. And as soon as it clears up, we're going to do some more amazing galaxies, because it's galaxy season. It is. We're going to do them. It's going to be great, and we're going to be amazed. All right. Thank you, everyone, again. And we will see you soon right here from Starlight Starbright Observatory. Good day.